Hi guys, this is Logan, and it's been about 3 weeks since the last video because it was the holidays, but the main reason is that I got sick. There's a lot of viruses going around. I actually had a virus and then I had bacteria. I'm still on antibiotics. I don't usually get sick, but everybody around us is sick. I think it's unseasonably warm, so there's a lot of bacteria out there. Anyways, similarly in the, there's a lot going on in the revenue share world. My paying ads is in PayPal review. One new revenue share went down. Triple Threat is still going through its own growing pains, but Triple Threat is still doing really, really well. They're upgrading the servers now. They just got this. Today's Monday, so I think on Friday they upgraded to an enterprise level server, which is like a scalable server. So the more traffic you get, the bandwidth changes, whatever resources. I'm not that familiar, but it's scalable. It can grow with the traffic, so they won't have to stop and pause everything like they've done in the past. Basically, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm one of many who got stuck in the PayPal freeze. And we can't use PayPal anymore, but we have our funds stuck in PayPal. And unfortunately, I put $1,000 the one day before that happened. So I didn't really have any additional money that I could, I had $100 here and there, but really nothing major that I could rebuild. And that was enough for me. I already had a good amount of active shares. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull anything out yet. So I didn't want to add any money because the moment they unfreeze us, we're gonna, I'll be right at the maximum level within a few days, really. So basically, I'll just give you a status of things as they are for me at Triple Threat and tell you generally what's going on, because a lot of people are discovering Triple Threat, especially now after this what is it, fast revenue share that went under this past week. There's another copy of Triple Threat called Quick Revenue Share. That one so far is doing well. I've been there for 6 days. I'm going to start making videos about it, but I wouldn't recommend that to a newbie. If you're seasoned, if you know what you're doing, if you've done this, then it's probably worth going in with $100, or if you want to risk more money. Otherwise, Triple Threat is still number one fast revenue share. It really seems like these guys know what they're doing. They have their math worked out. They're active. They're upgrading servers. Like it's not perfect, but it's really doing well. There's nothing else that pays that much in such a short period of time. We started clicking ads again over the weekend. This is a part of the server upgrade. Ads are still being clicked in the server on the server clock in the server 24 hours, and they promised that would change. I don't know when. Excuse me, my voice is still a little hoarse. And really, I actually haven't felt better about Triple Threat all these however many days. I forgot. I'll have to look that up. Sorry, about 50 days or so. There were ups and downs, but now that we're close to, getting out of this PayPal situation and everything else, it's really, really looking good. I get tons of messages every day, and people ask me things like, is this safe and everything. I can't guarantee that it's safe. You have to be careful. You have to manage your own risk, and I'm going to start talking about this more and talking about the big picture a little more rather than just focusing on these one at the time, one rev share at the time. But so far I feel, as far as these fast ones, the risky ones, I feel the best about Triple Threat. Now, as far as my numbers go, you can see that they're weird numbers, as we've discussed before. So total earned and expired shares, these are the two that you would add up really to kind of come up with some kind of a how much have I earned so far. My active shares have gone down. I'll show you why, because of the PayPal thing. and the total is basically my expired and my active. So this is a total of shares that I purchased in the system. As you can see below, I have 2,400 or so in my wallet. Not all of that is cash. Some of it is repurchase, but PayPal, so I'm not able to use it. But I do have around 2,000, a little over $2,000 in my cash. But again, PayPal mostly. Let me show you the spreadsheet so you'll have an idea of what happened. Basically, on the 21st of December, they said that they would that migration is going to happen within, that they'll let us know when, and then that we'll have a few more weeks for the shares to expire. Now, I'm talking about PayPal only, but this affects the whole server, right? So it affects the earnings, it affects how fast the server pays. It's not paying its top, level 1 shares were paying 40% every day. Right now it's slower. Actually yesterday, but I think that was the server, it was paying about 20 something percent, I think, so about half that. But that's not the norm. I would say 5 out of 7 days, the server runs at its full speed on average. Which again, even when it doesn't, it's still very, very fast. So on that day, I started buying tier 1 shares only because they expire quickly, because I didn't know when they would tell us and how much time we would have. And this kind of went through Christmas. And as you can see here in yellow, this is when they simply pulled the plug on PayPal. They just stopped all our PayPal buying. So you weren't able to kind of repurchase or purchase anymore with PayPal. So from that point, you can see that, shares have been more or less dwindling. These are my active shares, and I had about 3,500, which is 1,000 more than I would need to start withdrawing $100 a day. From that point on, I wasn't really able to buy anything in PayPal. So those shares have just been simply expiring, which is their intention, right? Some server problems I noted. I put a few dollars from Solid Trust Pay, then I added some Payza. I mean, we're talking $30, $50, just so I have some money, basically, so I'm ready with Payza when the migration happens. But if you look here, you can see that, this is paper calculations that, from all that money that I put in, my actual, expired shares, the total, all of that, basically, you could say that I earned $7,000, right? Profit of 6,200, which, it's true, but the real calculation is how much money do you take out. So once that starts happening, I'm gonna change how I present the numbers so they're more realistic. Unfortunately, my plan of just showing how things go day by day got totally messed up with this whole PayPal thing. But that's a lesson for everybody. As you know, my paying ads has been in PayPal review since Christmas. It's been about I don't know, 18 days maybe, I'm guessing. PayPal is certainly, as much as it's a mark of safety, in revenue shares, I think it's a sign of a possible headache down the road. So I'm kind of, now I'm looking at revenue shares, and the two that I've entered in the meantime, neither one has PayPal, and that's going to be one of my rules from now on. I'll talk about MPA in a different video, but basically, triple threat, it's still a good play. It's now a better play more than ever. I've been active. A lot of people are coming, from Fast Rev Share, trying to make up for their losses. And, this is my first video because I've been sick, and I'm definitely going to talk about it more as far as strategies go. I did write what I'm going to make into a video. So there is a post. If you go on my Facebook, and even if you're not friends with me, and if you're not, just friend me, you can ask me any questions you have. You can see that post even if we're not friends. I'm pretty sure I have it open to public. Read it. It's a long post, but it basically gives you the idea. It's really not rocket science. It's simple. But just so you're clear, because surprisingly many people actually went backwards on on their strategy and really didn't make as much money as they could have with triple threat, which is a shame. So that's outlined in that post. Please go read it. Friend me, ask me questions, and I will see you soon. All right, take care.